Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum. This is my opportunity to share with you what I did with Foundation Physics 1, a roller coaster track design competition. It's my part for the whole community to operate this session. And I also call it a project-based learning. So the way I do it, I start with 3 questions to students. Okay, have you been on a roller coaster? Do you like being in a roller coaster? So I show some of the roller coaster that is available and how they feel about it. And then also on the design, this is on the physics part. It says, okay, if you have a roller coaster that is traveling at 8.7 meter per second at the higher peak, 8.5 meter from the ground, how fast will it be moving at the lower peak, or over here at the lower peak, and at the deep there. So they should know, okay, how do they do the calculation? You see, the conservation of energy. And so they, okay, if they and I also ask them, how does the roller coaster run? Does it have an engine? Sometimes they said, oh, there's no engine to roller coaster. Basically, they move just based on conservation of energy. So they need to understand this part. So that basically the energy comes from the potential energy that start from there and comes down. Then the next part will be, if you have a loop, the upside down there. So how fast the roller coaster must be moving? What's the minimum speed for the people not to fall down? And for the track also not to fall down. So you need to have to know the calculation there. So yes, but the concept what are the concepts involved in the design of the roller coaster? The conservation of energy, how fast must be moving, and all this, how many loops can you actually build for it to keep moving? So this is what it's all about. So there's what I tell them. So the competition is open to all foundation science and engineering students. For when I was teaching last time, it's just for my group. I make it such that it's optional. You can submit, or if you don't submit, but there be prizes. That I told them, okay, the first prize will be 50 ringgit worth of goodies, second prize 30 ringgit, and third prize about 20 ringgit worth of goodies. Yes, I buy them chocolates or biscuits, drinks, okay? And they form their own groups. And all entries must be in groups. And make sure it's a group, not individual. So at least 3 or maximum 6 in the group. And each group can only submit 1 entry, no more than 1 entry. And this is when it's optional. They make their own group. And they also one semester where they already fixed groups based on their collaborative learning teams. And then this is the team and the objective. Just tell them the objective is to nurture creativity and innovativeness. So they need to know, okay, how do we going to build the track, and then to instill cooperation and teamwork. And the main thing is the understanding application of the physics concept. So they involve conservation of energy, circular motion, centripetal force, and also friction. And also have to have some guideline what the entries must include. Basically, of course, when I say design, they expect first thing that they're supposed to actually build it. They said, no, you don't need to build it, because they're asking like how big must it be? And said, okay, it's just on the paper. Just design side view and done on A4 paper. And then must show all the calculation, and the track must include at least 1 loop where the roller coaster go upside down. So it must include that. You can put 1 or more than that. And all the concept of conservation of energy loss due to friction, the estimate of friction. Centripetal force must be included. That means how fast must it be going at certain part of the track must be included. All the calculation. And all the measurement, they said, so that means you can make it up to 20 meters or 30 meters, doesn't matter. It's just show the measurement or calculation must be clearly shown. And then they must also test what's the choice of material, because the material that you use for the track and also the material you use for the roller coaster, it will affect the friction. So that they can estimate the value of mu k, which is the coefficient of friction. So how much energy will be lost as it moves down. And marks will be given: creativity of design, the number of loops. If you, minimum one loop, if they have more than one loop, they have more marks. Length of the track, that means the longer the track, that means more ideas, more curves, more loops. Then theoretical time on the track, they should be able to estimate how long from start to the end, the clarity of drawing, and of course all the equation and calculation involved. And I also prepared, once I tell them how the marks are given, I also prepare this one. I don't show them this one, but it's like the marking scheme. So for once they submit, I can evaluate, okay, from the 15 marks for the calculation of conservation of energy, how much marks they can get for that one, a calculation of centripetal force, the choice of material and justification, the number of loops. For this one, if at least one, you give 5 marks. If more than that, more marks than that. And then length of track, time given, how do they estimate the time, whether the drawing is clear, and creativity, basically the whole design. And based on that, give them the marks. These are some of the samples of the entries that they're given. Because this chapter, the chapter on centripetal force is chapter number 8. Chapter number 7, chapter 7 to 8, something like that. And which is somewhere in the middle of the semester. So I studied on middle of the semester. They need to submit by 2 or 3 weeks before the end of the semester. So I had time to look at it and then to get the prize. Usually I give the prize at the end, the final week. Just final week. So these are some of the design they submitted, all the calculation involved in there. And okay, on the feedback, I don't actually give ask them to give feedback on this project, but I found one feedback that mentioned this when I gave a general question about group assignment. This is only one that mentioned that they said that it's really effective, especially the roller coaster one. They really enjoy it, even though only a few members. I had fun and I learned a lot. That's what they comment. This is only one comment on the roller coaster design competition that they made. And there's some of the pictures of for this one, there's 6 people in the group. So there's one, there's 3 in the group. This one, I think this one, because at that time I already put them into groups of 8. So that's why there's 8 in the group. There's all of them.
But so the students read the whole chapter before that. It's the whole chapter.
Yeah, that's why I said it's combination of 2 chapters. Conservation of energy is one chapter, friction is another chapter, circular motion is another chapter. So that's why I said it's like because they do that after they finish the chapters. So actually maybe you can change it into problem based by giving them the assignment beforehand. So as it go on, they need to learn that. I think it can also be done as problem based. And this is all.
I said that when you, how do you think that there are how many classes of physics altogether?
How many groups?
How many groups?
Per semester? Depending on, let's say, usually, because according to program, it's about sometimes 6 groups.
And there will be 6 lecturers?
6 lecturers, yes. So it's hard. I mean, if you want to make it for all groups, can still do that. So then finish already. It's okay. So
then, tapi so far other groups tak buat sudah dia
They don't do it.
Or maybe you have not communicated.
Yes,
with them.
I've not really shared it with others. One time, actually, at that time, it was foundation is still under FASD, and at that time, Dr. Babir was the head of the department. I mentioned to him, and I invite him to present the prizes for the student, so he knows about it.
I don't know. Maybe it's just you just block during that time kan, because because I think this is good one. Of course, you cannot simply integrate between physics and chemistry, for example.
Yeah.
But you're integrating
This one just physics.
between chapters.
Yeah, a few chapters, yes.
And it should be something yang interesting lah for that matter. I mean, maybe not
Because-
roller coaster,
yeah.
some other things.
Yeah, to me, for this one, they can really see what the concept is applied.
Right.
That's basically
And
this
very
one.
important. Have you seen also, have you made a comparison of the result attainment in the group finding dia punya, for example, like this group participate, and then how does their marks compare?
Oh no, I haven't done that one yet. It's right now.
I don't know, probably something yang you might see that.
But the one who, actually the one who get the first prize is not actually the best students actually, because in the terms of creativity, maybe they are more creative compared to the top students, or maybe the whole group, they as a combined group is better than each one individually maybe, because it's a group project. Work. Nah.
Every group's done and then you can count that as part of the project mark.
Yeah, it can be done.
The students are much more motivated to do that.
That's it. Okay.
So this is a project, right? Is it a project?
This is sort of like an optional project because it's not counted as a marks. So I make it initially like optional. You can submit but this is something interesting, and I'll give you prizes. And I actually got entries. The student who actually submit entries on this, and they do the calculation correctly. This one.
Compulsory, there's no marks.
There's no marks. And at one time I make it compulsory, but the marks doesn't add. I just give them prizes at the end. That's it. Because if I want to make it part marks, then you have to change for everybody. Because the component, component, yes, is right.
Communicate it throughout. But I think it's good because the project is, that looks something that the student can apply for many chapters together and solve this problem, and rather than macam just giving a simple problem and then student just do it.
It's not like one topic, but it's a course.
So, this is physics. Okay, just want to show.
Yes, in that course, in foundation physics one.
Let's see. Because for they're supposed to design, and just design on paper, just to show the concept of conservation of energy, circular motion, to make sure that when it turns upside down doesn't fall. Those are the concepts they need to learn.
And the reason why you would make it as part of the assessment?
Because I'm not coordinator of the course, so I just concentrate for my class.
This is not your course.
Because I'm teaching because there are many many groups. This foundation physics, for example, sometimes there are 8 groups, there are 6 groups, at least 6 groups.
200.
So 6 groups, for each group usually about 80 students.
Oh, 8 times about 6.
Foundation,
It's
the
an
intake for every program about 100. There's one time that mechanical have 160 students. Chemical engineering have divided into groups. Chemical engineering also have 2 groups. So mechanical 2 groups, chemical 2 groups, and then yes. So just the only part that we can actually cater to our own part is 5%, which is for quizzes. Quizzes is up to the lecturer. It's not standardized for all groups. Test is the same for everybody.
So I think the next definitely we need to bring it up. We could
good,
that
good.
lah. I mean, well, I think on behalf for Sinta, we can propose to CFS just to look into allowing a project-based something like this that can be incorporated throughout the course, the whole groups kan. Because
Yes.
should be planned, right? Should be planned because their
That's right.
number is big, very big. So we have to think about how to assess and how to standardize the assessment.
Yes.
And then
Hasnah have done some rubric. I mean, the rubric I think it can be further.
The assessment, more detail lah.
In that sense, tapi most importantly is that all the students are experiencing it rather than only certain students.
the other 5 are not. Some of them are part timers, am I right?
There's a few, only very few part-timers right now. Already, because now CFS is on their own, and even those without PhD can be lecturers for CFS. So that's why some of the part-timers are now full-time.
Okay, they are already full time.
Time,
They are all staff.
Right now, I think all of them are full-time. There's no more part-timers.
I think that's one of our way forward lah. Otherwise the students at foundation level cannot be introduced with
Projects,
projects,
yeah.
group work kan, when actually you have to nurture them early. Ini Rizal soalan apa?
Tak tadi today it's about when you are not making it compulsory. So how do they form the group?
Their own groups. At that time, said if you can form your own group, minimum of 3 people, maximum of 6. That's it. So they form their own groups. And I remember when I think there's only one semester they said, "Oh, this is not compulsory. It's up to you. There be prizes." I got 4 entries. There were 4 groups. One group there's 3 people. I think there are a group there are 4 people.
So these groups, what are your characteristics? Are they the top achievers? Are they
Yes,
the
the good students. Yeah, the good students. The ones submitted. Yeah, the good student. Yes, it's right. Good students. Yeah.
Tapi dia benefit from that lah because they understand the application kan.
Yeah.
I think whenever the time they meet the roller coaster later on, they will know that
Okay.
this is actually what's the physics principle
physics,
behind this, and then I'm going to make sure that the calculation. I think that's very very interesting lah. It's a matter that we need to make sure that this is is part of the curriculum rather than jadi tak memang sikit je student yang boleh pilih masuk kan. Interesting. Ke tak salah tadi ada variety of other things as well that you can ask the students kan. Because the project nanti dia
Yes,
orang,
right.
kalau buat
Yeah.
continue roller coaster juga nanti dia orang tiru pula.
That's
kan?
right. That's right. Maybe we can apply, try to put in more part of the topics, maybe another chapters that can put inside there. They included.
It's plenty of that.
Yes.
So many
When you
things.
talk about motion, everything, or the conservation of energy and friction, everything, Newton's laws, everything. This one. Everything about motion, is it can be applied. Anything is right. Okay, dah lah. Alright, thank you.
Do you find it difficult to do active learning in a big class?
Actually, no. At big class,